Thank you, Dr. Love. Okay, and let's welcome our chair.
Good morning, people.
Morning. Wow,
Morning.
finally.
I see your faces. Sleepy. Hey, Isaac.
What's up?
What's up?
Hey, Isaac.
What's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
Excellent.
Excellent.
How you doing?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Oh,
How
excellent.
you really doing?
Super fucking excellent.
Excellent.
Okay, guys. So I hope that by the end of this session, you wake up properly and you have enough energy. If you don't, then I think it's time for you to get a coffee or juice, whatever you prefer. I need help with the slides. So, can you have the next slide? Thank you. So this is your chair. That's me. And I have one question for all of you. If you are still awake, can you tell me one thing that is permanent? Next slide. You go slow. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I need your help. I want you to respond in chat box. What is that one thing that is permanent? Oh, wow. Eliza, you're right. Sorry, I think you were super quick. Great. Water boil at 100 Celsius. Not actually. Okay, great. I'm not sure, Eliza, if I'm pronouncing your name right, but are you doing some sort of, sneak peek in the sessions? I'm not sure if you're doing it, but you have the right answer. So let's go to the next slide. Yes, absolutely. So change is the only thing in this universe that remains permanent. Otherwise, all things keep changing, right? And that is the reason that we all, I think, come across situation in life where a lot of things change than what it was before, and probably we have a choice when it's a beginning, and at the later we don't even have choice but just option. Next slide. Okay, so let's talk about changes that happen inside Isaac. Next slide. Okay, so I need two MCPs who can share here with everyone what are the two changes. Maybe so each one can say that these are the changes that happen in Isaac. It can be a last 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years. Any major changes that you have seen happen in Isaac. Nice one, Tony. Yes, we need mic sharing, so please help me with giving mic. I need two amazing MCPs who want to speak, who want to share. Leadership is all about taking opportunity, and here we have opportunity for two people. Okay, so I see.
I can go real quick. Yeah, I think it's just the why over the years because I remember how peace was not the first thing we thought of. I mean, no, like the basis of it was peace, but then like the way that it was structured, it was very long. It wasn't peace and fulfillment. It was like some long thing. And then after I got revised, it became shorter, but then it took a few drafts for us to come to like our why that we have today.
Thank you, Alyssa. I need one more MCP who want to share.
I think I can share.
Thank you, Tammy.
I think change inside the ISEC is actually the generation that we live, since most of us is coming from millennials, and right now most of the newbies, like the new members, is coming from like Gen Z. So I think that's a big change that is happening inside ISEC as well.
Thank you so much. So let's see. I also have certain things prepared for you. So can you relate what is this? I mean, if you are old dinosaur in ISEC, and if you have lived in ISEC for more than 5-7 years, then probably you know. So anyone guess what is this? Okay. Blue man in rock hair. So what is something? Okay, so this logo has something to do with our official platform, I would say. Let me give you a hint. Something to do with our official platform. So do you remember the name of that platform that we were using? No. Before Expa. What we were using in ISEC before Expa? Oh yes. Tony. Right. So can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So yes, only this much. So this is myisec.net. So guys, I think this is something that was available back in, yeah, myisec. Yes, it was by Tata Consultancy Services. Yeah. So I remember because I went on exchange through myisec.net. So in 2013, I went on exchange to Indonesia, and my matching happened through myisec.net. So I think the last thing I remember with that in 2013, where people were using myisec.net, and people were having this lot of excitement that there is something new coming, expa, and it's gonna change the way how things are going to happen. It's going to be more quick, faster, and people were creating lots of hype. So I think this is one major change that I remember throughout the ISEC, that how people were so excited during the conferences, launching of expa. So yeah, but after this mysec.net, we got expa, and I think you all would have used expa, and then there were some upgrades, expa version 1, 2, 3. I don't know what is the current version that you guys are using. I hope it's not more than 5th or 6th. Yeah, so this is one change that I see inside ISEC that happened post expa. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Apart from this change, we also had another change that I still remember that happened in ISEC. TMP. Does anyone knows what's that TMP stand for? Anyone? Yes. Oh, team member program. Great. So great, guys. You do have a good history knowledge of ISEC. So yeah, welcome to Dinosaur Clubs. So again, this was the membership program. So I still remember that time where membership was a product that we were selling through ISEC. So it was not only just Global Volunteer or ITCDP, but there were also a product that was called Team Membership Program, and that's how they had the whole process of keeping members engaged and growing together. But then happened some change inside ISEC. So not all the change that how it's going to affect your organization. So sometime some change may not be that favorable that we always expect. So I believe this was one of the change that organization decided to take out TMP out of the product, and I believe that all the conversations that I had with TM commissions from the generation of 2014 until 2017 or 2018 or maybe 2019, people were are not happy about it that TMP program was taken out, and because of that we we had huge problem with the membership. So membership that was above 80K globally, that went down. I remember by 2020 it was 35K, around 35K. So just because of one change, world's largest youth run organization, how we used to identify ourselves, that was not relevant anymore. We were not anymore world's largest youth run organization because our membership was dropping significantly low, and it was going continuously in a decline. Can we go to the next? Yes. And not only with the membership, but it also affected severely with the leadership pipeline. So the number of applicants that we used to see for LCEB or LCP or MCP, it also went down significantly, and probably many entities had leadership crisis where they had to get leaders from another entities. So all the MCPs that you see many a time, they are going internationally. So this was one of the biggest concern that TM Commission had, and I think after all those brainstorming and conclusions, we brought back a membership product back into organization. So that is MXP right now, and I hope you guys know more than me that how membership experience is given more emphasis. So we already had TM processes where you have to have 100% into get, develop, keep, and report all the phases of processes, as far as I still remember. And I think this is also another change that affected unfavorably to organization, and we learn back and we back to the change. So those are the change that happen in the organization, and change is something that we cannot avoid because it keeps happening. Now let's talk about external change. So I'm referring here change that is something to do with a significant influence that happen in the economy or political views or global economy. So if you can share any recent developments that happen in your country or in, I would say, like in your region that you want to share. So I can give you one example that was very boom last year. That is Soviet I mean Russia's Russia, taking over Ukraine, and I think that was something that was, going all over the news, and people were, protesting for that, extending of, support to that. So that was something that was, very booming. But I believe that we also have a lot of, external factors or external things that's happening in Asia Pacific region. So I need two MCPs who can share external change that affected the way they were operating. It can be 1 year old, 2 year old, or 3 year olds. So do we have MCPs who can relate to the external change that happened in your country? And it's completely fine if it's not in your country, if you have observed in your neighboring country.
Yeah, I can go. I think this could be the whole world. I think Gen Z values are bigger change. There is more interest in the social agenda, and the organization are now required to take clear action and show clear stance. That's I think external change.
Thank you, Yuya. I need one more MCP who can share the external change. Do we have MCP who can share any external change you feel that is relevant? No. Eco, you want to share something? Okay, let's invite Malaysia. Do we have Isaac in Malaysia?
Hi, yeah, I'm here. I'm Yijie. Yeah, I'm from Isaac, Malaysia. I think yeah, for Malaysia, right? I think recent years we have like a lot of change in political, like the government, like who the government that actually manage the country, and then it kind of like changed a lot of perspective on how we view on government, and we start to educate a lot of like young voters, like how to select or choose the leaders for the country, and there are a lot of more awareness about young people should play more big role in the country development, things like that. So I think it's somehow a good sign for this change as well, even though the political situation is not very stable. Yeah.
Thank you. So let's go to the next slide. Great. So what are the common challenges that we usually see with change? Next slide. Thank you. So one of the challenge that we see with the change, that is threat to existing environment. So if you are operating in a set of environment, whether it's your business or it's a government, when anything comes new, you have threat to how you're going to operate the existing environment. Next. Then it also requires you to put additional investment. So if you are going to adapt to the new process or new system, your people or the target audience, they would have to learn those things. So it would require time and financial resources for people to learn new things. Just an example. So there was a generation where people were using typewriter, and then it got changed with the laptops or computers. And when computers came new, people had to learn how to use computer. But that was initial change that people didn't know how to use computers. Next. Insecurities of losing jobs and customers. So also change brings how we operate. So I believe this was something that we also as an organization that had a huge concern back in 2020 when COVID came. I think we all had to suspend our operations, and I remember because this was something that happened in my term, where we had to pay back monies to all the exchange participants because we took the money for them and they were supposed to realize, but we had to suspend all the project and we had to return the EP fees back. So this is something that also brings challenges when you are interacting or when you're facing the change. Next. But at the same time, also change brings opportunity. So let's see what are the opportunities that we see in the change. Yeah, so when change comes, you actually get a better alternatives where you can do your operations more efficiently. So I can say for sure that the way we used to have I would say a business, working in the offices, and now what we see, people started to work hybrid or remote. For executive level, it has actually added the productivity because people are more happy where they are able to give more time to their families, but at the same time they are also able to do a job with a peace of mind. So it actually allows you to take opportunity how you are considering or how you are approaching to the change. So people have taken opportunist approach and then take advantage out of it. Next. it also gives you additional market share for the early adopters. So when something comes new and you are the one who take this as an opportunity, then probably you have the whole market, because no one else is there who have the proven solutions. To the people who start early, probably they are the one who is going to get the whole market. So currently we are using a Zoom meeting, and I think if you remember back in time when we started with this pandemic, Zoom was one of the platform that was widely used, and people started using a free plans of Zoom, and right now you can see that people started paying plans for Zoom, and now it is widely accepted a platform. So that's also how Zoom as organization they take leverage out of the change that happened. Next, resource saving. Yeah, so it also saves resources, because when you see that you have another alternatives or another solution that can do the same things with skipping some steps, or not having to invite your people physically. So many companies who do not have employees coming to office, they don't have to pay rent for the offices, or neither they have to buy bigger buildings. So that saves lots of that fixed cost. And I'm sure that you guys being MCP, now you already started learning finance, and talking the language of cost, budget, and fixed costs. So I think you can relate well that it also brings you opportunity. I'm sure that probably in last 1 or 2 years, you would have see relatively very low amount that is allotted in your budget, or utilized in your budget, that is going to be fixed cost related to administration, offices, or you call it conferences, because even conferences are becoming virtual, which does not require you to pay significant amount. Let's go next. Okay, so I know that that was not something a very exciting, or maybe more relevant for us to see, because it's boring at one point of time, right? How we see the change that is happening externally. But let me tell you that you can actually romance with the change. And how you gonna do that? So actually, I had opportunity. It was not my choice, but it was somehow that happened on my way. That I learned how to romance with change. So my profile, my background, that I did my master's in finance. So how I was looking for my career is to make a future career in finance. So all I started doing, I took my LCB finance role. I also applied for Global Finance Board. So I was in the same illusion, or I was thinking that all I'm gonna do in ISEC, I'm going to do better with finance, and probably I'll complete my ISEC journey. But that's what that's what my thoughts I had, but that was not the reality. So the first thing that came for me as an international MC experience, so I was actually looking for MCVP finance role, but what I got in MC 17-18, that was B2C. And guys, I can tell you that was not easy. I mean, that you have always played finance, and then you got to play a role of MC B2C, where you have to manage your commission, and you have to learn the blue book, and you have to learn everything that probably you did not pay more attention before. So I remember when I got elected for MCB B2C, I really had a very a little knowledge or little expertise how I compare it to finance with B2C. It's not that I don't know it, but I was not as good as I was with finance. And the entity that I was applying, they were in the need, because they had immediate resignation of MC B2C, and they can't go without operation and marketing. So the only choice I had is to accept the role and work for MC B2C. And it took me first two good amount of months to take transitions from fellow MCPs, fellow MCVPs, and commissions, and learning through all the platform, just to make sure that I'm able to deliver right knowledge and right practices in my network. But after 2 months, what I realized that after intense learning process, I got better with marketing and operations. So that is OGX. But that's not enough, right? So I finished my first MC term with ISEC in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and finally I got elected with ISEC in Moldova. That was MC 1819, and I was very happy, even though it was fifth round, because before that I had other plans that I was applying for. So I got elected as a finance, and I was very happy that finally I got what I really wanted to do. I got finance, but I think my happiness was not lasting longer, because after first week of our MC term, our MCVP TM, she resigned, and now there was no one who can actually take the role of TM. Now I just wanted to know that earlier I just took MCVP B2C role. I'm just about to go with MCVP finance, and then we don't have MCVP TM. And again, that uh, responsibility. And I think this is something that I choose to take it. So I told my MCP that, man, we cannot let this go. So I'm ready to take the role of MCVP, TM. And again, the same drill happened, that I had to invest 2 months of intense learning, and again interacting with the fellow MCVPs, commissions, regional office, all the education that I needed to make sure that I have proper knowledge of talent management, just to make sure that I can keep my entity growing in terms of TM. And I finally learned TM with that. So what I want to tell you here is that change. So I was actually always trying to make my career in finance, but what I had to learn through that was marketing, operations, and also human resource management. And when I was learning that, maybe it was a painful, because that was giving me a lot of challenges while operating my normal time that I had. But I realized all those things when I finally got opportunity to lead the entity. Can we have the next slide? Yes. So when I become MCP, I think that's where I was able to connect all the dots. So I think now you guys also can relate with me. When you become MCP, you are the one where direction is required, or you are the one where your MCVPs would look up to, and would ask for your advice, or they would need guidance from you. And if you don't know the basics, it will be very difficult for you to have conversation with your MCVPs, that how the basics of each functions that work. And I realized later point of time that, okay, it was difficult at the initial phase for me to learn all those different functions from the scratch. But what I see after getting to this role, that all the change that was coming in my life, they were actually preparing me for the better future. So I know that right now you guys are MCP elected, and probably there are a lot of new things that are coming on your way. And you would be wondering that, okay, how I'm going to finish it, because I don't have enough time to sleep. I don't have enough time to eat, to spend with my family. And I think those are the concerns that I also had. I also had to many a time, let go of many things. And that is something that, I feel that that's the initial change that is happening in your life, or in your lifestyle, where you will have to go through it. But I can assure you that if you give some time, or if you take it positively, that it's going to form you in a new shape. It's going to prepare you for a better leadership role. Then definitely change is something that is gonna bring a happiness in your life. Can we go to the next slide? Great. So after this story, let me see how many of you feel comfortable to romance with change. So what you need to do is you need to rate 0 to 10 yourself if you think that what changes that are coming in your MCP role you feel comfortable about. Okay, I see Iko taking picture. I expect the new meme is gonna come. Okay, 10 mean. Oh wow. 10 out of 10. Okay. Thank you, people. I see that you have 10 out of 10 or 9. So I feel that you guys are very confident for your MCP role. And I wish you all the best. With that, I invite Amazing Mean.
Yay! Thank you, Chair. And thank you for the sections related to change. So right now, I just want to make a little bit of reminder. So in here, we have 15 out of 21s going to write like the key questions or goals that I have coming here. And also today, we have a newborn MCP elect. This is from Malaysia, so you can go there and then can write down your goals for the conference. Yeah, and then the second question will be best levers of the upcoming days to find what I'm looking for. Just only 5 out of 21. And the last question, best way to keep me accountable, just only 4 out of 21. So you can go to this link. Yeah, in the break or in the lunch or somewhere, and then you can write down your goals. Cool. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, so bringing to me again, I just want to brief through all the agenda for you to see what happened yesterday, and also for those who not coming, who didn't coming like yesterday, you can see what happened as well. So the first day we have stand for this. So only yesterday we share a lot of story about stand for this. So we have the opening plenary, and then after that we have a section called accents from Louise, and then Isaac 2025 and business models. So we have a little bit of understanding about global directions and also the roadmap for Isaac 2025. And we also listen to the steering team sharing. Yeah, and then we come to the night activity bonfire, where people share a lot about the reason why they apply for MCP and also how they can deal with all the anxiety when it comes to this role and rock the road for the new terms. And then today we'll go through this theme of change for this. Yeah. So after this opening plenary, you will receive a section called diversity, equality, and inclusion. And then after that, we'll have a short break for you to just wake up yourself and refresh. And then we'll come back to hear about global structure. So how to differentiate between AI, RO, and then how to you can utilize the structure to support your entities. And then you come back to me for MXP about development-centric mindsets and experience for the members. And then after that, we'll have lunch for 75 minutes. Yeah, so I hope you guys can prepare for your lunch and then come back on time for GT, BD, and on-site planning. So those are the section to prepare for you to support you in terms of like strategies or plannings after this RPM. And then we'll have break again, and then coming to closing plenary. Tonight we'll have the mini global village, but actually we don't really talk about a lot about the countries. We can have the country context, but at the same time, we can ask our predecessor or some people in the entities or read some document to understand about the entity history, how it's aligned with the entity, the country's context, and then you will talk a lot about those stories. Yeah. So people can understand more about your entities, and you also the one who understand more about the history. Cool. So this much for today, and because today we have a lot of knowledge, so that's why you can see we have a lot of break, lunch, and then break, a lot of break, right? So prepare yourself to be fresh and then to be ready for every single sections that's coming for today. And thank you for joining. Enjoy the days. So right now we will have a little bit of break. So fun team, you can do something, and then we can invite ours. Fussy coming. I see Louise here already. Yep. Cici, do you need any announcement?
There is no CC announcement this morning.
Oh, okay. So right now we can have a short break, and then we can come back.